Okay, we're going to hone out these wrist pins so the new pins will fit in the hole. They're too damn tight stock, new ones. So we're going to knock out this plating they got in the holes. Grit out. It cools off, it sticks when the piston cools. Grit out, it's loose. That's why they just throwing the piss out of it. You want to get it where you're just right, perfect where it slides through. Only a couple swipes on that stone and you'll be too loose. There's your finish now. And we'll see if the other pin's the same size. Do the next one. Alright, we're going to put this thing together here. Okay, we got our pistons cleaned up. Check our ring gaps. Make sure you don't mix them up. Very important, don't mix up your rings. They're not mixed yet, are they? Make sure you got some gap. Push your rings in evenly. See your gap? And make sure you got at least 15 or 16. If you can put your fingernail between them, it's enough. Built-in checking tool. Big gap. Fingernail fits perfect. That one's a little tighter, looks good. If you don't want to do it by hand, you can always just use your piston to cinch up your rings. Drop it like that. Same thing. I think I did this one already, but double check just to make sure. Okay, they're fitted. Alright. Cover the motor up when you work on this stuff so you don't drop the junk in there. Okay, you put your O-ring on there first. There's gaps right there off to one side. Take this one and go over 90 degrees from that one, so the overlap's right here. Don't get the two gaps together. Just wrap that around. Pick this up and move it across so you don't scrape up the piston. Drops in the hole. You go 180 across where that one is, and you put this one in it. Now, these rings are pretty flexible, so you just wrap them in. And same thing, pull it up, drop it. Just don't force and bend it. Just take that and pull that way and take the tension off of it. Those are in. Okay, you look for your dot. Dot goes up. One dot. No dot. Look at the ring, make sure it's square section. That's your top ring. Doesn't matter how it goes in. This one has a back cut, the second ring. Top ring. Second ring. Okay, your mark goes up. Now you don't wrap these because you bend the rings up. Take your thumbs, stick it down in the groove right here, in the groove right there. Push with your fingers and pull your thumbs apart. See how the ring just kind of drops around. And just lightly push on the side. And it drops into the hole. If the ring doesn't float in the ring groove evenly, you bent it. It's no good. Now you grab one of your top rings, same thing. Put in the groove, spread, hold with fingers. Okay, you find out where your gap was at for the O-ring. Somewhere in there. Yeah, maybe there's no gap. Gapless rings, right? There it is. Yeah, let's find our second ring. There it is. We'll put that one 90 degrees from that O-ring. The other gap for the O-ring's over here. And you rotate this other ring, top ring, 180 degrees from that. Right there. So all our ring gaps are in the 45 degree angles from the thrust face and from the wrist pins. You don't want to have gaps in your thrust face where your wrist pin keepers go. And do the other one. Dot up. If you have to push hard, you're doing something wrong. See right now I cut on the second top ring there a little bit. Just push it in right here, not there, and it just drops right in. Do not force rings. So they all float real nice. That's what you want. Here's our gap. Gap. And the other gap. Okay, now we're going to do our, start lubing this stuff up. Lubricate your pinholes. Get the ones up here while you're at it. These are cylinders. We already cleaned them all out. As soon as they are. A little bit of lube right here just on top. Not a lot, just a little bit. Smeared around the top couple inches. That's all you need. When you shove the rings in there, the pistons, it'll put the oil up through the whole cylinder and lubricate the whole thing one shot. Bounce around everywhere. Okay, you got a rounded side and a sharp side. The sharp side goes out, digs into the wrist pin, so then pull out into the side of the piston. There's your little titty. Put on either side of your titty mark, it doesn't matter. Popped in. Make sure it's in there tight. If it's not tight, don't use it. And you put it 90 degrees. This one the same way. Sharp edge out. Pop in the groove. And it's tight. Okay, now here's our front cylinder, piston. Okay, I'm going to clip on the push rod side, which is the oil side. I'm going to put these into here. Okay, get on the other side here. Okay, I don't use ring compressors, I use my fingers. Start the groove, you want to put this inside the cylinder and you compress it and shove it back around, it goes in. You got the little piston here. So you just shove it in there. Just lightly tap it. And it pops in. Same thing, you shove that one in. Drop it in, push it around the back side here to compress the ring. It just goes in by hand. Here's your groove right here. Get that one to start. Roll it on in. This one here comes up next. Goes right around. Now when you get to the sharp edge here, you got to compress it a little bit with your hand. You're just going to go back and forth a little bit. Pops right in. you look at top of the cylinder, it has a taper to it. That's what the taper's for, is to get the rings going. Okay, there's the wrist pin. Now when you shove the pin all the way through, it will lubricate it at the same time. So everything gets lubricated in by one shot. So that one's ready to go in. Let's do that again on this side. Ring there, just push it in. Notice as I push, the piston dropped. It comes right in, just have a light angle, so it goes in, you're in. That groove's got to go in first. See how this one popped in over here already? Bring it up a little bit. That way you can get this one in, so you know it's free to go in. Come over here, push it with your thumb, and going to roll it around like this. It's like putting a shoe on. See? That ring, see how I can press it as you beat on it? Make sure it doesn't catch on that edge. And see, it's right on top of the cylinder. You just kind of roll it in. See, you're not hitting hard. You don't hit that hard. If you're hitting harder than that, you're breaking it, so don't do it. And there's that one. Okay. Cover our motor. The oil here. Okay, we're going to put a little pre-lube in the motor. Put the oil we're going to run on the bike, so we're putting 60 weight in there. Yeah, nice tear strip. You want to put the oil right in the center of the rod there to lubricate the rod, even though we got semi-lube on it. Throw a couple ounces in there, kind of work it in, see how thick it is, let it kind of soak in. Just gives you a little extra lube on the rod. And when you start the motor up, it's got oil on it, so you don't have to wait for it to get there. If stuff's thick enough, it'll stay there. Usually if you go around you see oil on the bottom of the case, you know you got enough in there. If you don't see it on the flywheel, you ain't got enough in there yet. Okay, make sure you didn't put any oil on that. It's clean. So now we're ready to put the cylinder up on there. Got our clips right here. Backwards here. Okay, you got your cylinder, piston assembly. Hold it right there so you can control it. Go on the other side again. Pins are right here, ready to go in. Stick it over the piston and shove the pin in. You can let it hang a little bit, easy it'll stay there. Cover that up so you don't lose your pins in there again. The clips. Don't lose your clippy. Okay, sharp side out again. You hear it pop in. It's in, it's tight. That one's done. Put a little assembly lube on here. And when it starts up, it's lubed again. Plus you got oil in there. Alright, well, forgot something. Usually I put a little bit of oil on the threads here for lubricating. It's nuts. With some Torquies here. We've got these new James gaskets here with the sealer stuff built in, so you don't have to put lube on them. Just drop that in. for a washer and a nut. You don't drop the cylinder all the way down because sometimes you don't have room to get the nut up on here. This one we have pretty good room, so should be alright. Now nut, you got a rail nut side on top and you got a shoulder lip here on the bottom. That goes down. Make sure you don't drop stuff in your motor while you're doing this. It's hard to get it out. Don't leave it in there. Could be bad. Once you get all the nuts started, drop it all the way down.
Okay, there you go.
Okay, now the cylinders have some clearances in them here. See how that works? You want to rotate these cylinders inwards like this so the manifold fits pretty good. So rotate like that, rotate this way, so I'm pushing like this. Tighten it down. I find that easy makes it pretty close to what you need when you're done. Use a back and forth cross pattern for torquing. And then you cross over the other one. I did that before. Okay, that's close enough. Now you just pull this rod up. See, it comes up. The oil goes in. See, the oil's lubed it now. You can see how smooth our finish is. That's why we can rotate the motor over by hand without too much effort. Okay, now we do the other side. Now you can see why I put the wrist pins in from the left now, because the distributor's in the way on that side. Same thing, just lay it up in there and figure out where it's at. Stick it right there. There it goes. A high spot on that one. Somebody must not have honed it enough last time. Okay. Cover this up again. Now you don't want to be beating on the side of the pistons because you can bend the rod, so those are lined up on purpose to be straight, not bent. How much pressure it takes to move this one. Sometimes they don't move at all. These ones do a little bit, but they're tight. You have to lube the side of the piston because they don't hit, not even close. Okay, now to make this piston drop easily, just rock it back and forth like that, and with a light down pressure and it slides. Once you get down the studs, you just lightly tap it. You don't want to be beating the threads up. Now remember, you got to get the gasket to clear under here, so don't jam the gasket in there and cut it. Something ain't going right now. Make sure the wire's out of the way. Hitting on the gasket slightly there. Feel it not want to go, don't force it. Put nuts on. what it's hitting on? Yeah, it is, isn't it? Under there. Yeah. There it went down. Okay, it rotates again. We rotate inward again. Not the same direction, that'd be outward. So I go inward and tighten. Make sure the wire is still clear. Okay. Turn our motor over. We got the motor sprocket nut on here. Tighten this up by getting on it. It shocks it so it stays tight. Now you can turn it over. You always turn the motor over backwards. If you don't, if you turn it over normal direction, the oil you put in the case will go into the oil pump on the other side. So you don't want to keep it at the bottom of the case. So you always go backwards. The oil doesn't come out of the cavity down there. Anyway, you can see how little drag it takes to turn the motor over. If you want to wipe off the excess oil, you can see how much extra oil we had in there, even though we only put one finger full on. We almost got a whole finger left back. That's enough. If you leave it in there, it'll just smoke a little bit when you start it. Okay, I'll keep those up near the top to keep the dirt out. Once we get all the cylinders on there, we'll give them final torque, but for now we'll just give it a little extra to make sure it's pretty tight. Pull them down about 35 to 40 foot-pounds probably. About that much. And last. Okay, that's it for now. Cover it up to keep the dirt out.